I know that for a fact he was targeting um, black people. And he was definitely racist. When you read his writings, he's definitely racist. Um, so there's no question, but it's difficult to figure out. You know, he let some people go and others he did not. I have a sense he didn't like anything or anyone. Just a diary of a madman, an evil person that wants to hurt people and succeeded in doing so, unfortunately.
I just really wanted the world to know who AJ was. I mean, a low maintenance guy that just is so genuine and so pure, so just, I don't know, man. I just wish he didn't have to go out like that. I mean, he didn't even do anything wrong. I hear killings all the time about people getting killed because they're in drug transactions and different things like that, but all he was doing is just at work. He was just at work, man.
How many more before the leaders will step up and help solve these issues versus looking the other way? We can make an example as a teachable moment, or we can be just another senseless, racist, motivated shooting spree that is swept under the rug.
A father-daughter dance was coming up in February. He was so excited about it, talking about the colors they was going to wear and all. And he was robbed of that, and so was my granddaughter. Now she's asking, who shot my daddy?
Yeah, this is, here we go again, folks. A masked white man fatally shot 3 black people inside a Jacksonville, Florida Dollar General in a predominantly black African-American neighborhood on Saturday in an attack where he used a gun painted with a swastika. Now, the official said that the shooter who had posted racist writings then killed himself. Ryan Palmer, who lived in neighboring Clay County with his parents, was the man that did the shooting. Sheriff Waters said that Palmer had been involved in a 2016 domestic violence incident that did not lead to an arrest, and this young man was involuntarily committed for a 72-hour mental health examination the following year. Palmer used 2 guns, a Glock handgun and an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. Waters said that they were purchased legally earlier this year. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters told the news conference that the attack that left 2 men and 1 woman dead was definitely racially motivated. He hated black people, Waters said after reviewing the man's writings, which were sent to federal law enforcement officials and at least one media outlet shortly before the attack. Let me see. He added that the gunman acted alone and that there was absolutely no evidence that the shooter is part of any larger group. Waters said that the shooter used a Glock handgun and an AR-15 painted with the swastika. Yeah, he was also wearing a bullet-resistant vest. Now, the sheriff also said that the gunman left behind writings that showed that he was doing this because it was the 5th anniversary of when another gunman opened up fire during a video game tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, killing 2 people before fatally shooting himself. During the attack, this young man texted his father and told him to break into his room and check his computer. There, his father found a suicide note, a will, and racist writings from his son. The family notified authorities, but by then the shooting had already begun, the sheriff said. Officials say that they were writing to his family, federal law enforcement, and at least one media outlet. The shooting happened just before 2 p.m. at a Dollar General, about 3/4 of a mile from Edward Waters University, a small, historically black university. In a statement, the university said that shortly before the shooting, one of its security officers saw that the man near the school's library had asked him to identify himself. When he refused, he was asked to leave, and the man returned to his car. Sheriff Waters said that the man was putting on his vest and mask before leaving. He said it is unknown if he had originally planned to attack the school or not. So he was near a historically black university called Edward Waters University, and he might have actually done it there. The Edward Waters students were locked down in their dorms for several hours after the shooting. No students or faculty are believed involved, said the school. The shooter had driven himself to Jacksonville from neighboring Clay County, where he lived with his parents, the sheriff said. That house was being searched late Saturday. The mayor of Jacksonville is saying that she is heartbroken. Governor Ron DeSantis, after speaking by phone with the sheriff, called the shooter a scumbag and denounced his racist motivations. Both President Joe Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland were briefed on the shooting, officials said. Dollar General's corporate office said in a statement that the company was supporting its Jacksonville employees as we work closely with law enforcement. Now, this attack on a shopping center in a predominantly black community will undoubtedly evoke fears of past shootings targeting black Americans, like the Buffalo supermarket shooting from last year, or the one at African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston in 2015. This particular shooting happened just one day before the 63rd anniversary of one of Jacksonville's most notorious racist incidents. Axe Handle Saturday. Wow, that does not sound good. A group of black protesters were conducting a peaceful sit-in at a city park to protest Jim Crow laws that kept them out of white-owned stores and restaurants. That's when they were attacked by 200 members of the Ku Klux Klan, who hit them with bats and axe handles as the police stood by. Wow. Only when members of a black street gang attempted to fight the Klansmen did the police intercede. Oh, here we go. Hold on, caller. Now, who are these victims? Angela Michelle Carr. She was shot in her car outside the Dollar General. The store employee, A.J. Laguerre, was only 19 years old, and he was shot as he was trying to flee. And the customer, Gerald Gallion, who was only 29 years old, was shot as he entered the store. No one else in this horrific crime was injured. Here we go. Let me take this caller real quick. Hello, caller.
Boy. If you ain't hitting on the mark today, boy, I swear for God, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
We're in trouble. They just killed another sister somewhere. I think it was like, I forgot where it was at. She was pregnant, 7 months pregnant.
Oh, are you talking about Takia, what's her name?
Yeah, they accused her shoplifting.
Right.
In the car, and they shot her. They killed her.
Right.
Oh boy. We keep seeing this stuff every day. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, when I was working, I went through some stuff, boy. I swear for God, I went through some stuff. And seeing this today, and I'm talking like 15 years ago.
Right.
But seeing this stuff today, what we're going through, it's bad enough what we're doing to one another, but then, hey, when you see stuff like this, man, I mean, hey, if she had been a white girl, they wouldn't have shot her. They wouldn't have killed her, but they killed that sister.
Right.
And she was pregnant.
Yes, she was 7 months pregnant.
She was 7 months pregnant.
And the baby died, too.
Yeah, the baby died, too. Y'all some dirty dogs. Y'all some dirty dogs. And I want to see it. Yeah, I said it. If you're listening, y'all some dirty, evil people. them how to hate and everything. What comes around goes around. And you're going to get yours. It's coming because your kids, little Tommy and Joy, is killing y'all. Is doing something to y'all people, because you're still teaching them how to hate. I have a lot more to say, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You said enough, brother. You said enough, brother.
I want to get this off my chest because what I went through on my job,
right.
I was called nigga every day.
Wow.
I didn't know what was going to happen the next day once I come. I was on that job for 7 years, never missed not one day. But the stuff that I went through, the stuff that I went through, I've worked all my life, man. I'm 65 years old. I never missed a day from a job. Never. And what I went through, I'm still going through because of what I went through.
Wow.
I still think about what I went through, because it didn't have to be like this. It didn't have to be like this.
Right.
But y'all day is coming. Y'all day is coming. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Y'all day is coming. All right, my brother, I get with you.
It's all good. Thank you for your call, sir. I mean, you hear the hate, the hurt. The hurt is real. Again, we're talking about a sort of 400-year journey. This is why when I talk about reparations, I mean, we see a lot of very slick right-wingers try to make it seem like it's about something that ended in 1865. They go, well, slavery's been over for 150 years now. The good guys won. And I go, but black people spent the next 100 years being terrified, pushed off our land, and massacred, lynched into the modern day. It's not like the last 150 years have been a cakewalk for African American people. It hasn't. It really has not. So when we start seeing things like this, it's just another reminder of all that not only we're going through, but what our ancestors went through for generations. Like they were just talking about the axe handle. What is it called? The axe handle Saturday. I'd never even heard of that. There's like so many massacres and like things that have happened in this country to black people, and these were peaceful protesters in Jacksonville, Florida. I never even heard of Axe Handle Saturday. But you can pretty much go around the country and, this is the Red Summer of 1919 happened. Something happened here. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about reparations. And it's important to talk about these types of things, this type of racial terrorism that has been happening to our community for 400 years when we talk about things like reparations. So we're not just dealing with this situation in Jacksonville. Hate crimes in big cities have recorded record highs for a second year in a row. A leading group of experts in a new study provided exclusively to USA Today found that the number of hate crimes reported to police in 42 American cities rose 10% from the year before. And in the country's largest 10 cities, the number of reported hate crimes rose even more. Wow. 22% from 2021 to 2022, making last year the second consecutive year they hit a record high. Okay. Now, what constitutes a hate crime varies by locale. It includes murder, but also offenses such as assault and stalking. Generally, a hate crime is determined by the way perpetrators target a specific kind of victim. Last year, as has been the case every year since the count began, most hate crime victims were black. According to the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University, San Bernardino, which collects and analyzes official state and municipal hate crime data set. Now, this study mirrors the latest data from the FBI, which also releases an annual hate crime report. Last year, the FBI reported that in 2021, the latest year for what data is available, the number of hate crimes nationwide jumped 31%. The Bureau is expected to release its report for 2022 later this year. Like I said, like I talk about very often on this show, we are melting down as a society. People are cracking under the pressure. People are cracking under the pressure. We just saw this shooter had been put on psychiatric hold for 72 hours a few years ago. And so while I don't think that necessarily his mental illness caused his racism, but mental illness takes you from a garden variety racist who just moves to an all-white neighborhood to being someone capable of murdering 3 innocent people in a mass shooting. I think that's the difference. We're seeing historic suicide rates all over the country, even in the black community. We are seeing violent outbursts on planes. I mean, I just saw the video of this woman completely freaking out on a plane where she's like, you know, she's become like some sort of viral sensation because she's freaking out. She saw something she didn't see. People are losing their minds. Road rage, mass shootings. I just saw somebody get stabbed at I think it was a San Francisco 49ers football game. We are coming apart at the seams as a society. And because we never dealt with the fundamental racism, we never got reparations as African American people. We never closed the chapter on that book. We've just been a society that has tried to put off the inevitable, delay the inevitable for, I guess it'd be 150 years now. And the fact is, you cannot do that. The Nazis the Germans completely purged themselves of the Nazis. You can't even do the Nazi salute in Germany without being arrested. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have free speech. I'm not trying to undo people's First Amendment speech rights in America. This is a free country. We have a different constitution. But my point is, they are serious. They seriously wanted to distance themselves from Nazis. Okay? The Jews and everybody else hunted down Nazis. Decades later, found them, either killed them or put them on trial. Even if they were 80, 90 years old, found them and we didn't do that after the Civil War. We just let Confederates go back to their life as normal and terrorize black people for the next 100 years without any real consequence. Without any real consequences. Then in the 1960s, we finally get the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, and things like that. And so now, ever since then, they've had to be covert instead of overt about their racism. I played the clip a few weeks ago of Lee the Boogeyman Atwater, who was Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan's political strategist from the 1960s through the 1980s, who talked about how once the Civil Rights Act came, they could not be overtly racist in their political messaging. They couldn't just say nigger, nigger, nigger. So they had to use things like states' rights, like busing, like, you know, he said we have to get real obtuse with it. You know, we had to get real esoteric and stuff. You know, we have to talk about taxes and things like that and tax cuts. He said the fundamental message is the same. Blacks are hurt by this more than whites. That's what we've been doing for the last 50 years at least. We've had a prison industrial complex of mass incarceration that came from Richard Nixon's war on drugs. I talked about that here in June, I believe, on the anniversary of the war on drugs in 1971, where for the last 50 years, the American government has openly used the legal system to disrupt black communities. So when you have these type of fissures that are just open in your society at all times, if you've never done anything to close them, you've never done anything to fully fix the wounds of hundreds of years of chattel slavery for African American people, left us vulnerable. We are vulnerable economically, we are vulnerable politically, we are vulnerable socially, because we have never fixed these things. This is going to keep happening. I know a lot of people are talking about a hate crime bill. Oh man, you know, we need an anti-black hate crime bill. What is that going to do? What is that going to do? Unless that comes with an AR-15 for all of us, which I would accept. Like, if you want to give me a gun as a part of an anti-hate bill, what is that going to do? These dudes kill 50 black people and then shoot themselves. You ain't going to scare them with some hate crime bill. You are not going to scare them with them hate crime bill when they're willing to kill themselves. It's like passing an anti-terrorism bill knowing that, like, Al-Qaeda might just blow themselves up. They don't care. They are suicide bombers. These shooters don't expect to live. And so what you have is a society in rapid deterioration. This is what happens. This is who we are. This is what we are at this point. All right, folks. I'm about to go to a break, another break here. But when I get back, happy happies.